Hey everybody, welcome back to another review. Today we have the outstanding Bowen Designs 1/6/1/8 scale Daredevil in the armored version. I love this piece. It's one of my favorites. So stay tuned. As usual, we'll go back to the beginning. However, because I do have this on display right now, we won't have a full unboxing, but I will disassemble and then reassemble this piece for you. Okay? So stay tuned. I currently have this statue on display, so there won't be any unboxing or anything like that, but I will unassemble and reassemble the statues for you guys. So today we're doing the armored version. So originally there are three versions of this same sculpt. It's some modification in paint. So there's the red version with Randy Bowen and Troy McDevitt. And then there's a yellow version, which they call it the classic version. But they all come in basically the same box. The only difference is this today, when we're doing the armored version, it's got an armored version sticker. So that's, they don't have a yellow version looking, colored box. But on this side, as you can see, with Ulysses Cantu, I guess he helped with the armored, stuff. Okay, so no, I do have the yellow version. It's just that on the box there isn't any indication that it's a yellow. And like I said, when you do get the yellow version, it'll say classic version or something like that. Okay, so let's assemble the statue, and then we'll proceed. Okay, so we do have a riser. This is just a simple base. Okay, and then we have the gargoyle and then the Daredevil on top. So this is just a simple riser. Nothing to it. So this will give the height requirement. Okay. So it's just a black riser. Okay, so now we're gonna get the gargoyle out. All right. So the next piece we have is the gargoyle. Ta-da! It's actually pretty cool. It's got some mixed media. This is I think it's some form of metal chain. It feels like it. Okay, so that's a nice mixed media for you guys. And it's, of course, hollow. Okay, and then it's a one pegger. So Daredevil's left foot's going to be put into that hole. Okay, and then of course there's no attachment or anything. This one just lie on here, so you want to just place it on like so. Okay, and then what we're going to do next is we're going to put the Daredevil on there. And talk of the devil, here he is. This is one of the nicest sculpts. I'm not even a Daredevil fan, but when I saw this quite a few years ago, I actually went and bought all three versions. Okay, the classic yellow version, the red version, and this thing, Kid Armored version. So like I said before, the sculpt is basically the same for all three versions, except you get added armored stuff, and then of course the other two is just a color swap. Okay, and then of course this one it's posable. It's some form of wiring. Okay, and then one pegger. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spin this around, and then we're just gonna attach it in there, and that's it. So let me take the let's do the 360 first. And as you can see, this is a really cool statue, and it's high enough, but with this particular one, the higher you display on your display case, the better. Okay, so let's do 360. It's nicely done. I wish they would do something like this in quarter scale. This thing would be humongous, because as you can see the base, it's a full-size gargoyle. And we'll go back this way. Okay, and then let's have a closer look. Alright, so we're coming in for a closer look. As you can see, looks pretty nice. And like I said before, it's just a one pegger right there. And then this one is just, you know, suspended. It touches that part. Okay. And then as you can see when I'm pulling the camera out, you want to display this on a nicer, higher level. But the gargoyle is pretty big. You know, it's rare, you know, to have a huge base. Yeah, well, this is 1/6 to 1/8 scale. But if this was done in quarter scale, this would be humongous and it would be awesome. Okay, so let's go to the scorecard. The first category we have is sculpting. As you can see, this is nicely done. You know, when Randy Bowen does any of the sculpting, in general, it's going to be very nice. Okay. And then, like I said, this is that's a base sculpt of this for all three versions. And if we get closer to the face, you can only have so much details because it's a 1/6 to 1/8 scale. So you're going to be missing a lot of details compared to the quarter scale or even the 1/3 scale. Okay, but it's not bad. Okay, and then you get good muscle work without being overly muscled. So with the modern quarter scale, some of the companies, you know, there's supposed to be a suit over top. So it's okay to show some muscle, but I don't like the new ones where, you know, they over muscled it, like the character doesn't have skin on. Okay, and then like I said, this is posable, so you can make it any way you want. And of course you get the little mixed media. Nice touch though. Okay, so sculpting wise, I would have to give this a solid, overall, a solid 9.5. Now keep in mind, this is a 1/6 to 1/8 scale, so there's going to be a lot of your details that you're not going to get in a quarter scale or anything bigger. Okay, but as you can see, it's done just nicely. You know, it's got some muscle definition, but not so much like you know, he doesn't have you know, suit on or anything like that. Okay, so it's got nice definition there. Okay, so sculpting wise, I would give this a 9.5 out of 10. Nothing wrong with it. It's just not perfect. That's all. I don't know. I couldn't give this a 10 out of 10, but I do like it very much. Okay. Our next category. Oh, and the gargoyle is nicely done, as you can see. Let me get it closer for you guys. Okay, so it's very nicely done. And this is, I guess, it's more of a full-size gargoyle when you compared it to, you know, the statue. Okay. So it's not like a mini gargoyle or half gargoyle. Okay. So you're getting the full works here, as you can see. All right, so moving on. The next category we have is fit and finish. So this includes the paint app, and if there's any mixed media, does it fit? Most of these, well, I think all of them, other than, you know, these miscellaneous materials like the posable wiring. Most of the 1/6 to 1/8 scale is just going to be no, you know, cloth or anything like that. So there isn't any fitting problem. So now it comes down to paint app. So as you can see, I don't see any major flaw. Sure, you know, if you look close enough, you know, you can see that it's not perfectly painted. But, you know, this is a 1/6 scale. So it's no biggie. Okay, so as long as there's no major paint flaw, I would give this a 10 out of 10. And I don't know if you can see it on camera. The suit isn't exactly black. It's more of a like a graphite, really dark graphite gray with some specks of I guess silver in it. So that's a nice touch. Okay, so it's not completely black. And we're going top down. Okay, so for me, 10 out of 10. I did not see any flaws. And then on the gargoyle, of course, you know, it's a stone gargoyle. So if there's any sculpting or paint flaw, like, you know, that's stone. You know, it's weather worn. So it's really nice. Okay. All right, so moving on, the next category we have is Let's go with source material. So when you look at this thing, okay, it's this is a part of the storyline where I guess Daredevil got his butt kicked or something, so he's equalizing the playing field by donning this costume with the armor. Okay. So it's pretty cool. I really like the storyline, and then the costume is nice. Probably Marvel did one of these to sell more comics or something like that. Okay. So anyway, so from looking at this, it's 10 out of 10. It's part of that story, and Randy Bowen's and his company, they're probably the closest to making like true to the source material than any of the other companies. Okay. The new ones like XM and stuff, they do nice stuff, but they have a lot of interpretations. And with Randy Bowen's, you're gonna get the closest to the source material. Okay, as you can see, with it's really nicely detailed. I can't believe these are hand sculpted. This is back in the days, old school, not like the new digital one. So it's really, really nice. And let me get you a closer look at the goggle's face. It's a little bit tricky to do, but okay. So 10 out of 10. Next category we have is let's see. We got source material. So hold on, let me put this on pause real quick. Okay, sorry about that. HVAC started to kick in. Okay, so next category we have is art direction. I consider this an action pose, as you can see. And art direction wise, this is very apt for this character. Daredevil is like Batman, has been portrayed a lot on a gargoyle on top of a building. As you can see, this is a very nicely done art direction. Okay. So with this one, it's apt for the character, and it's an action pose. I love it. It's like a heroic pose. So I would give this a 10 out of 10. Very apt for this character. Okay. So if you did this with like Superman or something, it wouldn't be as apt. Okay, so other than that, we go to the final category, which is accessories. As you can see, there isn't much accessories with these 1/6 scale. The only one, I guess, accessories also include like the switch outs, which we don't have any in this one, which is understandable because this is back in the day stuff. They didn't have many switch outs, but it's also the base that comes with it. And this is very nice. As you can see, the gargoyle is huge. Okay. Well, for 1/6 scale. So that's a nice accessory to accommodate Daredevil. So while this does take a hit on the switch outs, which it has none, the accessory is nice in that the base is very good for the character. Okay, so I would give this a 7.5. 8 out of 10 on the strength of the gargoyle that Daredevil's sitting on. But there's no accessories, and I don't know how you could include anything. I'm sure like with the quarter scale, if XM ever comes out with one of these with this action pose, they'll probably do a switch out head with unmasked head or something like that, and maybe switch out arm with different actions. But this is 1/6 scale, like I said, and earlier. They just don't have any swap outs, okay, for the 1/6 scale that Bowen Designs used to do. Okay, so overall, not an average. I really like this piece. If you're a Daredevil fan, definitely get it. I would rate this a solid 9 out of 10. Other than the non-switch outs, everything works well. The scope, the paint, I didn't have any problem with it. And then it's very apt for the character, as you can see. Daredevil on the gargoyle. Okay. And if you display this at a higher angle, like say you get something like that, it is very nice. And you can also get the classic version, the yellow, and the red version to go with this. Okay. So I highly recommend it if you can pick this guy up. I don't think the price aftermarket wise is that bad, considering this is an older statue, and with the Netflix show Daredevil show, and that's done very well. So it's not cheap or anything, but you can get it a lot cheaper than what the quarter scales are going for. Okay, so overall, I highly recommend it. Oh, and as a side note, a long time ago when this came out, I also have the red and the yellow version. I thought about having this and convert it into Batman. Okay, so as you can see, that's just screaming for a Batman conversion. Now, keep in mind, back in the days, there wasn't a lot of Batman statues other than the Randy Bowen one that he did. I guess DC just kept it in-house. Not like nowadays where everybody's cranking out Batmans. So I thought about having one of these converted. Not this particular one because it's got too many distinct scope pieces on it, so it's harder to convert. But if you get the pure red or the yellow ones, you can do a Batman. Okay, so I thought about getting it done, but thank God, DC started doling out the license. So now we have Batman galore. Too many though. But anyway, so thanks for watching, and then we will continue to do some. I might go back to do some quarter scale sideshow like Poison Ivy and the Joker, which I've been meaning to put on for you guys. While waiting for Mary Jane, I think I got the misfortune of having it shipped during Chinese New Year. So they're off like 2 weeks over there. So hopefully it'll arrive any week now, and then we'll throw that one together. Okay, so thanks again for watching, and then stay tuned. I'll do maybe another Bowen or some sideshow. I do have the Wendigo from Bowen, and that's like the only full size one. So it's really nice. I might do that next. Okay, thanks, and see you next time.